YouTubers, I know it's been a while for this video, but this is part 2 on the automatic window install conversion for my elco, but I guess you can do it for any car. Alright, this is the relay and switch video. Alright, my interior is in a little bit of state of disarray, so you won't see it hooked up in my console or nothing like that, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. Alright, so when you first do this and you ready to wire up your switches and your relays, you got to find out what wire is up and what wire is down. To do that, you just supply it with 12 volts on one side and ground to the other side. I use my power station right here, just the battery that came out the car. I took the terminals and I adapted it for my situation, which basically means I ran a fuse wire, which I got from my old alarm, which I took out the car. I snatched that off because it had a fuse line up there. Used that for my power. I snatched off the ground. I used that for my ground. I took the yellow because it matched up with my yellow on my wire, and I couldn't find a pink long enough to do the same on this, so I did orange. So that's how I distinguish my up and down, right? So I ran power to the yellow wire and the window went up. Reversely, I ran power to the blue wire, the window went down. So now I'm familiar with what wire does what for the motor. Alright, now you gotta hook the relay up, right? This is one of the biggest issues I had, because information is not too abundantly clear on the internet about these. But take a little bit of time, and hopefully you can use this video as a more clear aid if you ever get to see it. But if not, hey man, you can do it. But these relays are single pole double throw 5-pin relays. Relays come in different assortments: single pole, single throw, double pole, double throw, double pole, double throw, you know, on and on and on. I don't know all the combinations because I'm not an electrician by trade. With that, proceed at your own risk, you know what I'm saying? Don't call me say your car blew up or it caught on fire, but mine didn't. Alright, so with that being said, these came with their own harness, which had 5 wires coming off from each pin. I find the harnesses are not good for beginners because it makes you have a lot more wires than you need. You know, you can use the wires from the connectors by snatching them out. Just pressing the pin back on the back of the connector, you see a little slot. If you ever looked in the back of one, get a little pick or a thin screwdriver, press it back, and you can pull the connector out of the socket. But I use those, cut the heads off, and put my own ends on it, and then heat shrunk tube and all that other stuff. But to make these relays work, you gotta supply power to them. From my research, 87 and 85 are the pins that get power. 87, 85 are these 2 pins. So what I did to consolidate everything and make it one neat bundle, I ran a wire from 85 to 87, 87 to 85, 87 to 85. And then I came out with a pigtail. Alright, you're going to need a ground. That's gonna be 87A. I know you can't see. It's just a bad situation. But 87A is in the middle, the black wire. I ran a wire from 87A to 87A, and then came out with a pigtail. These wires on the end are pin 30. Blue is for my down on my motor. Yellow is for my up on my motor. These white pins are 86. They go to the normally open on my 5-pin switch, which is right here. Okay, now these switches, my bad, I had to do a little camera adjustment. Alright, these pins, well, I tell you, I had time with this stuff too. Alright, since they don't come with no instructions, you gotta, make your best. The little print up here is real fine, boy, and it's the same color. I can understand they stamped it in another color or something, but they don't do that. But they at least give you the courtesy of, hold on, let me see that. You see that C? So that C, that means common. And the pin on this side is the power pin. The pin on this side is the negative pin. And those two pins together control this LED, the light. Alright, so you got common right here. The middle pin after that is normally open, which is what I'm going to use. And then you got normally closed right here. Alright, so these switches that I got came with a pigtail. And they color coded to nothing, so it didn't matter. But in my case, give me 1 second. I'll just tell you what's going on with mine, so you can try to match up and see what happens or work with for you. This black and the red, they both for the LED. This yellow is the same one on the end. That's that common. The one in the middle, the blue, that's normally open. And the green is normally closed. And I can't speak for all switches and all that, the colors and none of that. I'm just telling you about my situation. Hopefully you might can duplicate it, or you may find something wrong with it and tweak upon it. Well, my windows work. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so with that being said, going back to my setup. So I got my yellow up switch and I got my orange down switch, but really it runs to my blue on my relay. Now I'm gonna try to lay this out for you so you can see. I don't want it, to get skewed vision of what's going on, because you can get thrown off. But don't get thrown off by the extra black wire. I just didn't want to have to stretch real close to the door to make the video. I wanted to have some room so I could show you. Alright, so the red, again, I got the positive to the fuse wire from the old alarm I took out. Comes down, boom, to the red pigtail that I made on the relay. The black comes down to the black pigtail that I made on the relay. Alright, the up comes down to the yellow on the relay. The blue, which is the orange from my car, comes down to the blue on the relay. Now I got my switches over here, which is the white, comes down to the normally open wire, which is the blue. I got all the other wires taped off because I ain't using them. what you see. Those two, depending on the switch. One switch up, one switch down. All right, now the explanation for the other wires that are not hooked up. Again, the black is going to go to a ground, and the red is going to whatever power source you want. Your headlights, dim lights, whatever, ignition switch, whatever you want the light to come on when you want it to come on. I'm going to put mine with my headlights or parking lights, one of them, you know what I mean? But I want to come on with my lights. So that's why I don't have that hooked up, because I don't even have my headlights in the car. You know what I mean? So this is a bench test or a bench run. Alright, so the green that came off the button is normally closed and it's capped off because we won't be using it. Now, I can't tell you what happens if you do use it. If you just have this whole setup and you switch those two wires with the white wires in a position, then the window's going to go back in reverse. So up would be down and down would be up. So you just switch it back. Alright, the yellow, and this is where that extra ground wire came from. The yellow on the button switch, which is that common wire, goes to a ground. So I just ran it from the ground. I had tied in from the relay from my power station. And that's why it's an extra ground, because I didn't want to stretch it out. But I had an extra relay to show you one that won't hooked up, because I want to limit the confusion. And I had a switch that wasn't hooked up. So I wanted to try to limit the confusion again, because it can get confusing. And, you know, I blew like 4 fuses, you know what I'm saying? Now, 2 of them was like just because wires was touching other wires. So, you know, maybe 3 of them. So I take into consideration for that, because I don't, you know, I ain't got no professional station. It's a car battery, you know what I'm saying, with open wires. So I try to duct tape, you know, electrical tape the ones I had open. So, you know, stuff will happen. So, you know, you just make it the safest you can. Hence my little inline fuse, you know what I mean, and the electrical tape, you know what I mean, and hope that I don't touch other wires together. But I made it close, because I ain't want to do a whole lot of stretching and fumbling, and these wires short. But now it's time for the demonstration, because hopefully everybody got it. Oh, that's up. That's down. That's up. Now, people, let me tell you that it's not hard to do it. You know what I mean? You just gotta take your time. You know what I mean? You will understand what is going on, and hopefully my little thing help you. You know, because it took me a while to get it. And before anybody talk about my window being squeaky and creaky and all that other stuff, yes, I know. I still have not, from the video when I was testing the motor on the first time, I still have not greased and cleaned the channel out. You see, you know, it look all grimy, the greases. It look like the back of somebody's oven, you know what I'm saying? So yes, I understand, you know what I mean, but the switches work, the relay work, the window work, and all I gotta do is clean out the track, re-grease it, and lube some other points like that right there, you know what I'm saying? So bear with me, people, you know what I'm saying? I try to tell you, I ain't here to disappoint nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to do my best, to help you do your best, and hopefully we can see each other at a car show or something, you know what I mean? But I got other little things. I got to put a new handle here. I got to put my interior together. And that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen like part 2 of the door panels, and you haven't seen my console, because I went from a column shift to a 6-speed my intention was going from a column shift to a floor speed. Floor shifter in a automatic. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, I got this T56. Let me go ahead and slap this. So I was like, boom, we going 6 speed. So that changed the whole dynamics of the console. I had a console built. You know what I mean? But now I got to do the fitting for the shifter and all that other stuff. So I'm adjusting to what's going on, and that's not an excuse for the door panels because I could have been working on them, but I figure y'all might want to see a video of these relays and how they work in real time, you know what I'm saying, with these switches, because it's hard to find a lot of information on it. But check me out, people. The rebuild on the T56 with the LT1 T56, not the LS1, not the 660, not the Magnum, not the XL, none of that. Just a regular LT1 from a 96 Camaro transmission rebuild with the Viper / Aston Martin main shaft and a couple of new bearings here and there, because I gotta update you on what's going on, you know what I mean? But that's gonna come on soon, and I'm gonna get back on the door panels, the center console, and we gonna do the lock and door lock actuator switches up here too. These are not the same actuators that was in the car when I was running the car, you know what I'm saying? But I had to switch them because, man, might as well. I had some, and the other ones was old, you know what I mean? So I switched them out and ran them. So I got these firewire in this now. So I'm gonna have to work out this wiring to go with my switch for that to work with the other door. But when I get that figured out, I'll show you how to do that, or how I did that. Let me put it like that. This is a video on how I hooked up my relays and my window motor, and I'm gonna have another video on how I hooked up my door locks. You know what I'm saying? And you can use that as a reference or not. But until then, people, I appreciate you. Check me out. Peace.